All right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house. The dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
For one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
All right, welcome in everybody. This beautiful, beautiful Wednesday, 11:01 right now. Woody Harrelson's birthday today, so we're celebrating Woody Harrelson today. How fun is that? Got Christian Johnson on the board. How's it going today, Christian?
Man, I'm ready.
Life is good. Life is good, man. Third day without Phil. Phil will be back tomorrow for everybody wondering where he is. He's 121st Street up there, George Carlin Avenue, tracing back his roots there in New York. So he's having a good time. We're going to have a good time today on the show. We got Grant Hall coming up in the 11:30 segment today. Talk a little Razorback sports, talk a little Olympics, talk a little golf, whatever really is on his mind. Always a joy having Grant Hall on the show. We get fisherman Clay Henry for another 2 hours today. How fun is that? Love to chatting with Clay and hearing his stories. And we're going to try to break down a little bit of the Arkansas offense and defense, get a little more in depth. Talking about the individual positions, seeing a little bit about the quarterback room, checking out the linebacker room, kind of going through a little bit of the players. Where do we think we'll be better at this year? You know, what positions are going to be better than last year? What is the realistic expectations? So that's going to be fun. We're going to break down a little bit of this NFL, picking our division winners. And that's about it. About a little Olympic talk and talk with you guys. You know, we are always thankful for the listeners, your participation. Get in with us if you want to, 877-376-6963. Christian, I was going through. I'm getting excited. I have to correct something that I did yesterday. I said the Olympic ceremonies were on Wednesday. My bad. They're on Friday. So I got that straightened out. And Satania's still on the team. So we know that. So we're all good. He just changed his number from 16 to 6. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe that.
You think that's for LeBron James? I had a teammate up there, Carlos Owsley, that was number 6. Do you think LeBron James, maybe that's a little – these young kids, all of them love LeBron, huh?
If I had to guess, I would guess that maybe a new player has that number.
Okay.
But now why he would give it up, I'm not sure. But maybe he's just that nice of a guy. He's like, man, you can have it. 6 isn't a bad number, though.
Oh, yeah. 6 would get it done right there. Bill Russell's who I think of. Then I also think of MJ for his 6 rings. 6 rings, 6 MVPs. What did Tom Brady? Tom Brady got to 6 rings as well, I believe. So
I think.
Or did he get to 7?
Man.
I know he was in like 12 Super Bowls. I mean, share a little bit, Tom. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, at least 6. Maybe. Did he get 7? Wow.
The media days are over. You still got the ACC West Coast media days are going on. A lot of new teams coming in to that division as well with USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington. I mean, they're adding 4 new teams. We're adding 2 new teams. Question for you is which one of these conferences has a chance for one of the incoming teams, one of the incumbent teams to win their division this year? Does Texas have the best chance to win in the SEC and actually get first place, win the title? Or do you think a team like a USC that they're going to be traveling over 14,000 miles this year during the season?
Yeah, they're not winning the Big Ten in year 1.
You got USC and Oregon that I think are the 2 potential teams. You know, Dylan Gabriel, Christian, I'm a big fan of his. He's going to be running that Oregon offense. You saw what Bo Nix did in his first couple years there. It takes a little bit of time, but yes, it's going to be a learning curve, and they're going to be traveling a lot of miles.
I've got more faith in Oregon. I'll just say that
Than USC.
Than USC or UCLA. Yeah.
Lincoln Riley is one of 6 coaches that has over an 80% winning percentage. Current head coaches right now. So he wins a lot of games, but they've been beaten up on a lot of teams in the Pac-12 that don't play a little defense. The one thing, Christian, that's going to be a rude awakening, I think, for some of these Pac-12 teams going into to the Big Ten. These teams play defense in the Big Ten. Hey, when you're going to show up December 1st, you're going to show up the end of November and try to go into the Big House or try to go up to Ohio State, even Iowa, Penn State, Spartyland, Michigan. You start thinking about the difference in the weather that these West Coast Pac-12 teams, they're not as physical. They like to throw it. They don't play the defense. They really can't stop the run. It's almost like you got to change the way your team is because the Big Ten, they're going to run the football and they're going to try to run it a lot, especially when it's snow on the ground. It's 31 degrees. You better have a running back.
Do you think most of the time good defense beats good offense? Because we've seen offense beat good defense, but normally you have to have a pretty solid defense on your own. So seeing a team like USC or Oregon usually plays pretty good defense. Seeing a team like USC match up with Iowa, I don't know. Field conditions, I'm sure, will have a lot to do with who wins a game like that and where it's played, that type of thing.
Yeah, and then Iowa, if they have to go up to Oregon early in the year, maybe they could get run. It could work both ways. I tend, even though I'm an offensive player, I like it when the defense is good. I mean, it really breeds confidence through everybody. I go back and think of Seattle and Denver, that Super Bowl with the Legion of Boom. Peyton Manning still, he had already had that neck surgery. He wasn't at the peak of his powers. Can't say that he was at the peak, but he was up there. Peyton was still getting it done, and the defensive team won the ball. Think back to Patrick Mahomes, though. I mean, you wouldn't say that that's a defensive team in their couple Super Bowls. How many does Patrick have? 3 Super Bowls already, or 2?
Yeah, 3. And Brady does have 7, by the way.
Okay,
so we set that straight up. 3 Super Bowls for Mahomes, and you're right. I mean, it seems like they're doing it with kind of like, I'm not really going by the stats here. They could have like really impressive stats every year, but I don't think they're top. I don't even know if they're top 3 most seasons in defense.
The greatest show on turf, I think they won 1 Super Bowl. You go back and look at the prolific offenses, and you need offense. You need to score the ball. You got to get stops. You got to get stops. I think of Peyton Manning and all his offenses. They had some decent defenses. He only won 1 Super Bowl. And so then you think of Big Ben, and man, that first Super Bowl he won was a defensive Super Bowl. You think of the Ravens and Joe Flacco. You think the Ravens and Trent Dilfer. I mean, that's all defensive side of the ball. You think of the Giants beating the Patriots for their 2 Super Bowls for Eli. Man, that's defense getting it done right there. And you gotta have a solid defense. Got to stop the run. We're going to get into that a little bit with Arkansas as well, going through and kind of going through the depth chart a little bit. And what are some of the keys to success this year for this Arkansas team? And I wrote down a couple keys to success, and they might be cliche, but man, it's very true.
Kansas City had the number 2 defense last year, but I still feel like when the playoffs come is when they really turn it on, like on defense. And that's
Kansas City, you would say that was the weakest receiving core in the last 20 years, 2 decades. I mean, I guess ESPN's doing all these lists since the year 2000. It's pretty up there as far as weak. I mean, you have a guy in Kelsey as your tight end who's going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's a gold jacket guy. So you got that. I think one of and I don't think Andy Reid is underrated anymore. But you look at what Andy Reid has done You even go back when he had Kevin Kolb in Arizona, and people are like, "Who?" Exactly. Kevin Kolb was having his best years that he ever had under Andy Reid. I'm an Andy Reid fan. You think of him with Michael Vick and some of the Eagles teams he had, and get him just an offensive guru, just a genius. But yeah, the Kansas City defense was pretty solid last year. It's just you look at that team, and I would say both teams are defensive teams in that Super Bowl. You know, I don't think that San Francisco scares you like all of a sudden they're going to put up 40 points on you. In Kansas City last year, they weren't going to. I mean, they potentially when you have Patrick Mahomes, but they didn't really have a lot of athletes that scare you.
No, and you mentioned the receivers last year. I mean, they had receivers dropping passes left and right, and they win the Super Bowl. So it goes to show you that, you know, you got a quarterback that can put it there more times than not. The receiver is going to make the play. You don't need three insanely talented wide receivers, or even two for that matter.
Well, I
just need
think
a bunch of average to good players.
Well, you got to be able to catch the ball, and you want the more talent you have. Obviously, I'm into it. You got to have talent. Jerry Rice considered the best receiver. He won some Super Bowls, but you start going down the list at who's number 2, who's number 3, who's number 4, who's number 0 Super Bowl. Calvin Johnson, 0 Super Bowls. Randy Moss, 0 Super Bowls. Terrell Owens, 0 Super Bowls. Chad Johnson, 0. You know, you start going. Larry Fitzgerald, he made it to the Super Bowl, but 0 Super Bowl. You start going down the list of the best receivers. Justin Jefferson right now. He Devontae Adams. These are the best receivers in the NFL right now. You got to have somebody to throw it to them, and you got to have some help.
Yeah, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. You can't let one guy be your sole weapon. You got to have guys that can make plays all over the field. And Kansas City does that really well. They get players that maybe they don't have the biggest name, but they can turn them into winners, and they just make the right plays. And it helps when you got a quarterback that brings the best out of you when it really matters.
And we've had some people texting in and calling in. We appreciate you guys. We're going to get to you here in just a second. 877-377-6963. Yeah, Brady got his 7th with Tampa. So he won 6. See, for some reason, I thought he won 5 with New England, but he won 6. Wow. Yeah, Peyton has 2. I was talking about the Colts, then he got another one. And the second one he got was a defensive Super Bowl. You know, it was just Peyton. And really the first one, they played the Bears, which, man, they were so sexy Rexy. You had Rex Grossman on that team that was Devin Hester, Brian Urlacher. You think of that wasn't really an offensive explosive team. And both running backs for the Colts that game had like 10 plus catches. So a lot of check downs, you know, just and those are an extension of the run game. So yeah, to answer your question, Christian, no question about it. You got to have a solid defense first if you're going to start putting it in order. We got Otis from Paragould says, if Arkansas can get their O-line straight, I truly believe they will be just fine. So I'm with you. It goes on. I don't have the thing to maximize it. Maybe Christian can. Okay. But yeah, I'm with you. The O-line is a question mark. We're going to have Clay Henry on in the last 2 hours today, and we're really going to delve into this Arkansas Razorback depth chart and talk about some of the keys to success. What are some of the keys you want to see out of the offensive side of the ball? If there's certain numbers involved, if there's third down efficiency, and then again with the defense, you know, big thing for the defense is third down efficiency, no question about it. Limiting chunk plays or explosive plays. You have to be able to tackle in space. And we talked about this yesterday with Clay. One of my favorite things that Coach did this year, Coach Pittman, one of my favorite things they did this year was get more physical in spring ball. Mm-hmm. No, you got to be physical. You got to practice tackling. If you don't practice it, man, they're going to make you look silly out there on game day.
Otis thinks their defense is going to be just fine, and he mentions the Arkansas-Alabama game. Arkansas not really having an identity at all on offense, and he's right. The defense kept them in a lot of games last year, and I know you lost some guys, but you still got the same defensive coordinator, the same, philosophy, and he's going to have those guys playing hard. I truly believe that.
Travis Williams fan, no question about it. Coach Pittman fan, I am. I'm with you. Love some Bobby Petrino and what he's going to do offensively. You got to think he's still got it. So I like our two coordinators and I like our head coach. The other thing is they identified a need and a want in Taylor Green and said, this is who our guy is. This is who we want. And they went and got him. And so I like that. I don't like how we're losing all of our in-state guys. I think there's a couple of things you don't like, but there are some good things to like about this Razorback football team, and we're going to get into all that as we continue on, and we'll be back after this.
This is halftime. Do you, a family member or friend, have diabetes? While the condition is well known, the side effects are not. Wounds don't always heal the same when a person has diabetes. So what do? Dr. Doug Friesen has the answers on the Wound Wrap podcast. Wound Wrap is your #1 resource for all things wounds. It's now available on the Hit That Line podcast network. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts and find it on hitthatline.com. Wound Wrap with Dr. Doug Friesen.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine, scheduled, maintenance. You know it's coming one day, but that day's in the future. Then the future comes, and your wallet's not ready for that $250 maintenance. But your forklift is. It needs it. Good thing you're smart. You're buying a used forklift from Medley Equipment Company this summer, and it's first...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit #2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video
Smash event, smashing prices, smashing the competition. Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's a destination a little up the road from the habitations of the towns we know. A place we saw the lights turn low, the jigsaw dads and the get fresh flow, pulling out jobs and jamboree handouts, 2 turntables and a microphone, bottles and cans. Just clap your hands, just clap your hands.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right. Back halftime this Wednesday edition, and we're getting it on. We're joined with one of our favorites. We always love when Grant Hall spends a little time with us. And Phil will be back tomorrow, everybody. So we'll be all good. We're just gonna sail right through today. Christian's doing a great job on the board. Grant, happy Wednesday, man. How's it going?
It's going great, and I got a photo from Phil. It's like a 3-generation thing. That beautiful ballpark in Pittsburgh, where the last 2 nights the Cardinals and Pirates traded 2-1 decisions. And last night, and Phil will let you know, anybody that loves baseball loves the numbers, right? And so Lance Lynn got his 2,000th strikeout. Andrew McCutchen is 1 hit away from being 10th all-time on the Pirates' career hit list. Goldschmidt is 3 away from 2,000 hits. And Paul Skeens got his first professional loss last night in 24 games. That's including his brief time in the minor leagues.
Wow.
But you could see how good he was last night, but the Cardinals got him 2-1. I think that's the longest Skeens has pitched this year, 8 1/3 innings, because his pitch count was still comparatively low, and he went on out there, but they nicked him, and now they're getting ready to play here again in a few minutes in the rubber game of the series. So Phil and I have been having fun with that one.
That's I like it. Who's the better of the teams, Grant? St. Louis or Pittsburgh this year? And then who do you, if you had right now, I know we just got through with the All-Star break, but give me who you like. Give me a couple teams out of the National League you like to make it to the World Series this year.
Well, marginally the Cardinals. Let's see how far that they're 5 out, I guess, and Pittsburgh is 7 out. So those are pretty close. There are a lot of teams in there together, but I would say overall Philadelphia, has the best record in the National League, and then the Dodgers, I think, won their 5th straight game last night. They're probably about 3 games worse off in the overall. They're in different divisions, but those 2 have been pretty dominant. Milwaukee's had a pretty consistent 5-game lead in the Central, but all these teams below that, Atlanta's good. The Mets have gotten, they're right there nipping at the Cardinals' heels for the playoff spots. San Diego is right up there too. So, and even Pittsburgh, which has its best team in years, and Arizona's got a fairly good team, 52-50. So all those teams. This is what baseball wanted when it created the wild card and then the extra wild cards and so forth, I guess, to keep those fans interested. And then on the other side, Baltimore is still ahead in the East, and Cleveland's got a good lead in the Central, and Seattle and Houston, I think, are about tied in the West. So a little bit of, you haven't seen Seattle up there too much lately.
How are the Arkansans doing? What's the latest on some? Because I know we got like 10 of them in the Chicago White Sox organization, and I was thinking of how do you how are there any Razorbacks that are contributing right now?
Yeah, well, it's funny, Matt. Last night I watched the very end of the Royals White Sox game, and Benintendi was batting, and that caught my attention. And he hit a home run.
Nice.
He struggled this year. He's only hitting like 199, but he hit his 8th home run. Got him within 3-2. They lost the game 3-2. The White Sox have almost zero firepower. They got DeYoung, who used to be a Cardinal, and he's actually one of their better hitters this year. But I think Stanek got a hold last night. Drew Smiley, I believe, got a win the other night for the Cubs. And of course, Kerstad is back up now after that concussion scare. And Baltimore's got two Razorbacks with him and James McCann. McCann, he'd have to get to play a whole lot because Rutschman is so good as their catcher, but he is a good contributor for Baltimore. And there are some others, but there are some of them.
Well, we got the Olympics coming up, and I'll ask you a couple of things on that. But I wanted to talk a little football with you. And SEC Media Days are over with, and find out, is there something that you learned or something that you like? Do you feel better about the Hogs after seeing SEC Media Days, or or is there any other team that you feel better or worse about?
Well, I think 14th out of 16 is a little bit low, don't you, for Arkansas?
I like it, Grant. I like it that everybody's sleeping on us. I think the Razorbacks play the best when nobody's expecting anything out of us, and the media doesn't always get it right. So I like it when everybody's doubting us.
Well, that's something you can use, and I heard Clay say yesterday that Arkansas could be lying in the weeds.
Mm-hmm.
I do think at quarterback, Arkansas is a lot better than people realize because they just haven't seen this guy. I mean, some of the other teams have quarterbacks coming back that you've seen and heard of, but he's really good. I mean, he's fast like you, Matt, and that's worth a lot, I think.
Well,
So,
I'm excited to see him play. And Grant, you touch on something that I'm 100% a believer in. I think we're going to be better at quarterback play, but I think offense in general, like our attention to detail, our discipline, the way we go about it, I don't think fans realize how bad it is or how bad it was when you're firing your OC in the middle of the season.
Yeah, last year was dysfunctional, and there wasn't a whole lot they could do about it once it got going that way. I guess they tried, but this year you're right. The offensive line's better. They're better. I listened to Sam on his kind of his pre time on the with the media, with the full media. He was on that morning with a panel, and you could tell I think he thinks they're better than other people do. Now, you could call it gallows humor, some of the stuff he said, but he said he wants to coach 3 more years. And I know a lot of people in the state are thinking, well, what if they start 2-4 this year or something, or how many games you have to win and so forth. It is obviously a big year for him that way, just to continue coaching at Arkansas. But he says he wants to coach a while longer. So that's on his contract is 3 more years. I'm sure he'd love to do that.
Hey, with the Big Ten Media Days happening, and then you have 4 new additions, Washington, Oregon, USC, UCLA, it got me thinking, because the SEC, you got Texas and Oklahoma coming in. If I give you these 6 teams, those 4 coming into the Big Ten and these 2 going into the SEC, do one of those 4, which one of these teams make the playoff 12 is what I'm getting at. Is your best bet in Texas, or do you think USC or Oregon has a better chance than Texas to make the playoff 12?
I think Texas does. Yeah. I mean, I think Sarkisian, they did something last year, or at least DeBoer did at Washington. I was thinking about this today. Kind of the interaction between Texas beating Alabama, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Washington defeating Texas. Have I got that right?
Yeah, because Washington, they played for the national championship.
Yeah, so they did. Alabama's new coach did something that their old coach couldn't do last year. That's beat Texas. And I mean, I don't know. We haven't seen enough to compare last year to this year, but I think Texas is pretty confident coming into this league. I mean, it looked like 3 years ago or 2 years ago they weren't ready, but they're ready now. And maybe even Oklahoma. Oklahoma's got a tough schedule, but that's a proud program, and they're going to want to come in and make a splash too. So I don't know as much about the 4 teams you mentioned going into the Big Ten. but I suspect it's going to be a jolt to some of their systems.
Yeah, Lincoln, I saw this stat today. Lincoln Riley is one of 6 current FBS coaches that has a winning percentage over 80, in the last 6 years. Then you get Dylan Gabriel at Oregon, who was Oklahoma's quarterback that beat Texas last year. I'm a Dylan Gabriel fan. I think that type of offense is going to fit in good. But I'm with you. I really don't know. Can either one of those teams stop the run in December against a Big Ten team? I don't know. They haven't done it in the past, so we'll see. But the Olympics coming up, Grant. I think I'm more into the Olympics than some other people are, but that's okay. With Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, what he's doing, he's the Xander Schauffele being the defending gold medal winner, showing up with the claret jug. And then Scotty Scheffler, world number 1. Is America's got a good enough chance as anybody to have 2 people on the podium when it's all said and done?
It's possible. I kind of wonder about the intense schedule they've gone through with the majors and everything, and having to get right back up next week and try to win. But right now, you're right. Those 2, there's a big debate about who the player of the year is or is going to be. Is it Scheffler with 6 wins and a Masters, or is it Schauffele with 2 majors and that's it?
Yeah.
I mean, typically, anytime this has happened before, the guy with 2 majors is won player of the year. So it may even come down to the FedEx playoffs. I mean, if one of those guys does significantly better than the other, that might determine. I don't know that the Olympics is going to have a big bearing on it because it's a PGA Tour award is separate from that. But it could influence some people, and yeah, that's I saw today, Matt. It surprised me a little bit that Coco Gauff is the standard bearer with LeBron James instead of Simone Biles. Does that surprise you at all?
Well, I'm yes, and I think that and don't get me lying to you, but will there be more than one person that carries the flag? I thought there was somewhere I saw where she might carry it for a little bit.
Yeah,
okay.
There are 2 flag bearers, and of course LeBron was announced, I think, one day, and then the next day, Coco Gauff, who's a great champion of tennis and everything. But I kind of thought that it might be Biles, but that's what it's going to be. I believe this is the 4th time that LeBron has gone, and he's done the parade. Some of them don't go to the opening ceremonies.
Man, I'd be taking it all in. What an honor to represent your country. I wouldn't be kneeling when the national anthem's going on. I'd be standing proud. For the United States and America, no question about it.
Yeah, I mean, if this is an indicator, Matt, someone asked me yesterday on the street, I was going in to eat lunch, and this woman said, how can we find out about the Olympics? Like she wants to know day by day what all the Razorbacks. And I said, well, it's all on my phone because University of Arkansas sends this stuff out, but you can, I'm sure the Arkansas Democrat Gazette will have a daily little box of what the Arkansas Olympians, because there are a lot of them, especially in track and field.
All right. Well, I got about 3 more questions if you got the time. Just in
Sure.
two easy ones, and then a Woody Harrelson question because today is his birthday, and I celebrate his entire catalog. But first of all, Clay and I, we're gonna delve into more the depth chart and position battles, and kind of get into a little bit of the offense and defensive side of the ball. What is what do you think the best position will be, or best position unit will be on the offensive side and defensive side of the ball?
Wow. Gosh, I would almost say, I might even say quarterback on offense.
I like
it. It hasn't been running back, but I like some of the younger guys we saw in the spring to go with Green. And then defensively, do you start with Landon Jackson and go from there? I mean, the 3 guys that Arkansas took to media days, a lot of people think those were the appropriate choices for leading their groups. Yeah, it's hard to go against Landon. I think what do you think about the secondary, Matt? Is that an underrated, perhaps undervalued group at Arkansas?
I think they're going to get better going against Petrino every day in defense. The thing that you saw with your safeties is you got to be able to run fit and you got to be able to play downhill. But then also you can't let people behind you for chunk plays, and that's something we struggled at last year, is kind of being a little bit more aware. When it's 3rd and 11, there's no reason to go jump a 6-yard curl, and then that guy runs by you. I think of the Alabama game when it was like 3rd and 14, and Milroe just lofts one up in the air, and you're just like, oh, you get lost. So I want to see it before I believe it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, by the way, quickly, you mentioned Milroe. I heard Saban say that he's been getting there at 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning ahead of everybody else on his team. And maybe we said that last week. I can't remember, but that's good when your quarterback's doing that for them. No question. I'm surprised, Grant, to continue with that I thought there would be an open battle to run that new offense. But if he's the guy and that's who your teammates believe in, and in the college game, your quarterback's going to run a little bit more. But it was a little surprising. And so we'll end with this. It's my first experience with Woody Harrelson was White Men Can't Jump. And so I know he's done, Cheers, whatever. He's all sorts of things, all sorts of movies. There's 10 great movies that he's done at least. What is your favorite Woody Harrelson movie, and what was kind of your introduction to him? I would say not the movie, but what was that TV series with him and McConaughey? And
True Detective.
Yeah, True Detective.
Absolutely.
Several different iterations of that thing, including the one last year in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
Was I thought really, in fact, Jodie Foster I think got nominated for an Emmy. But that whole season, those two playing back and forth with each other, I thought that was tremendous.
That was cinema greatness. And I think one of those, maybe it was True Detective 2, they filmed a lot of that up there in Fayetteville in the Ozarks. So
That's right, they did. Yeah. That was good also.
Well, Grant, man, hey, thank you so much for spending a little time with us. We always appreciate you.
Okay, Matt.
Thanks, Grant. Thanks, Grant. Grant Hall, loving it, man. I like it when he comes on, bringing some knowledge. Talk a little baseball, kind of all over the map. And I guess that's when they get serious. Christian, is after the All-Star break. Let's go to a break and come back and do it again.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life. Do you want to see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on November 10th? Can you eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime? It's the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and HitThatLine.com. Go to HitThatLine.com for more details and let's secure your seat at the table.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Bartley.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopascal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
We're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Time is hollow. Time is all we got. Time ain't something you can borrow, like some kids singing rhymes on the clock. So when you wake up this morning and you splash on them clothes, you look to your lover and you be sure that you let them know. I don't wanna be the last man standing no more. I wanna flow down the river with the big bear named on. I wanna drink moonshine. I wanna dance in the moonlight. I wanna do the things that make me feel alright.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
OC Music, doing it right. Back halftime, just going through it, just selling right on through, having a good time. Thanks for Grant Hall coming by and sharing a little knowledge with us. Media days are over, but let's do a little NFL talk coming up in this segment. I know we got some NFL fans out there, and I know the unit is C Cowboy, and we got as far as a regular season team, man, Dallas has been the best regular season, if not one of the best in the last 3 years. Can that translate to a little playoff success? And they went out and got a new D coordinator. They like their personnel, it seems like, C Unit, but they went and got a new D coordinator, but didn't really make any splash in the offseason.
Yeah, Dallas obviously won the division last year. Philadelphia was one of the hottest teams, and then they fell off the map. And I wouldn't think that would happen again this year, but I do expect it to be a tight race between Dallas and Philly. I mean, it's really a toss-up to me at this point. And like you said, Philly did make some noise this offseason. So, man, I'm hoping Zimmer is the difference maker, and that defense is really good, takes a few steps forward. That way Dak doesn't have to, be perfect, because he's not. He's not going to be perfect. I don't think he's ever going to be the kind of quarterback that everyone wants him to be. I mean, he puts up good stats, but, come playoff time, he's not going to be perfect. You got to have a defense that can get you some turnovers, and hopefully Zimmer makes them that type of defense.
Well, if you want to talk about somebody who played against the Green Bay Packers a lot, Coach Zimmer, when he was with Minnesota, they're in the same division, and so maybe there's something there, knowing that you're going to have to beat a team like Green Bay coming up. But so when I look at the NFC East, rookie quarterback with the Redskins, no bueno. Daniel Jones, come on, get out of here. So it's really a two-team bid. It's a two-team league, and I would tell you this. I think both teams, Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC East, I think both of those teams make the playoffs. I'm gonna slightly edge the Eagles over the Cowboys. I love Kellen Moore. That's going to be Philadelphia's new offensive coordinator with Hurts. I'm a fan of Jalen Hurts. I think that dude can go. I think if you were to ask me who is the best quarterback in the NFC East, Jalen Hurts would be my number one pick. Who has the best running back in the NFCs? I would go with the Eagles. Who has the best collection of receivers in the NFCs? I go with the Eagles. And that doesn't mean I think CeeDee Lamb's a G. I think he's just as good as anybody. But when you're talking about collectively,
He's still got to sign a contract, I believe.
have y'all not got CeeDee Lamb in camp yet?
No, Ty said this morning that they haven't reached an agreement yet.
That will happen. That'll get done. It's okay if he's not there. I guess camp doesn't start for a little bit, but that's okay. And then the addition. You lost your center in Kelsey, which that's people that tell you the center, man, that's a key. That's an anchor to that offensive line and helping the quarterback getting his checks and understanding what's going on. Centers are smart, but I bet the next guy's pretty good. We'll see what's going on. Best move in the NFC East, Saquon Barkley for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think he still has a year in him. Where he can have 2,000 all-purpose yards. I don't know if you're trying to do that if you're Philly, if you're there's a number you want to get to, but with that extra game now, he still could miss a game here or there. But I think he's a guy that's going to have 1,000 yards rushing over that, and then have over 500 yards receiving as well.
Yeah, the Eagles, at least on paper, got a lot better.
I'm taking the Eagles in the East. Who do you got, C-Unit? You taking the Eagles or you taking your Cowboys?
This is hard. I feel like there's more known. Well, there's really not. It'd be interesting to see how Saquon Barkley kind of fits with the Eagles, but I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles. I hate to do it, but obviously I'm not rooting for that. But the Eagles right now in a close race.
I like it. All right, let's go to the NFC North. And you got the defending NFC North champs, the Detroit Lions, that had a legitimate shot to make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, legitimate shot. They were 12-5 last year. They're a hard-nosed team. They're kind of, to me, they remind me a little bit of the 49ers. They're going to hit you, and then they're going to hit you again. And you got a big, strong kid in quarterback in Jared Goff, which I don't think Goff is a top 10 quarterback, but he can make all the throws. There's nothing wrong with Jared Goff. I just think there's 10 other quarterbacks better. They got Amar St. Brown. I'm a big-time fan of that dude. One of the best receivers in the league, no question about it. Jordan Love there with Green Bay and what they got going on. Minnesota, not the rookie quarterback. Chicago, rookie quarterback. Think it's another two-bid league, but I'm going to go Green Bay in the NFC North with Jordan Love and in his second year really kind of get it going. But I do think it's a two-team battle. It'll be either Detroit or Green Bay.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how Caleb Williams makes that offense for Chicago go, because that's what they've lacked is an offensive, a type of playmaker on offense, and he's definitely able to do that. I know he's going to be a rookie, but I would like to see how he does in that first season. And then Green Bay, Jordan Love got a big contract, played really well. Kind of reminds me of when Dak was a rookie, had a really great season, had a lot of hype behind him. We'll just have to see how he responds this year. And then, I like Detroit, really good defense. Love Dan Campbell. Jared Goff's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Really should have had him there last year. Just couldn't make the plays there towards the end. But I'm gonna have to go with Detroit to win this division.
What Super Bowl did Jared Goff win?
I'm thinking about He made it to the Super Bowl.
Yes, yeah, he made it.
Matthew Stafford actually won the Super Bowl.
Okay, I just thought maybe I
got him
missed one.
I got him mixed up. You're right. He has not won a Super Bowl, but
let's
that's
that was Stafford. Okay. I was thinking let's take a break and then we come back. We'll talk about the NFC South and the NFC West.
This is halftime.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive, and financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Z Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Don't care if you want some more. I don't care if you even a score.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Woo! Back to wrap up this first hour of halftime. Beautiful, beautiful Wednesday, July 24th. Having a good time today. We're going to be joined at the top of the hour for the next 2 hours by Fisherman Clay Henry. Always fun getting to chat with him. Kind of dissect a little bit more, go into a little more depth on this Arkansas Razorback roster. The talking season's over, Christian. It's about to be here. I guess we got 11 more days till Canton gets here, but it's almost over, and we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll continue on with some NFL talk. That NFC South, Christian, I don't like any team. Can I just pass?
Yeah, I think Atlanta has some reason to be optimistic.
Right, they got a new QB. Yeah,
but Tampa, you got to go with them with Baker Mayfield. That's a pretty gritty team right there. And then obviously the NFC West. That's a tricky division too. All four, well, except Arizona.
You lost the best defensive player, interior lineman in my generation, Aaron Donald. I know there's a heck of a lot of great players. Haloti Ngata, Vince Wilfork, that played his position, Warren Sapp. Hey, I'm not hating on any of those guys at all. Aaron Donald is the best interior lineman I've seen. Dominic and Sue, I mean, you go down the list of guys that are amazing at being an interior. Aaron Donald's the dude. So they lost him, but I'm with you. San Francisco, the Rams, that'd kind of be the way to go. Arizona doesn't know who they are. Seattle's got a regime change going on. So same right there. It's a long year with the war of attrition and all that, but it'd be one of those two teams if I was betting. Which I don't. Take your money in your right pocket and put it in your left pocket. That's the advice I have for you. Don't be doing that. It's bad. And we'll be back for 2 more wonderful, glorious hours of halftime.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. And you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten to your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a little bit of patchy fog to start, otherwise sunshine. Our high this afternoon into the mid to upper 80s. Could see some scattered showers across the south. Mainly clear north tonight, mid-60s. We'll see some showers and thunders from south, overnight lows closer to 70 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 36 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, take it to the house.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
For one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
All right. Back halftime here. High and noon, 12:01 actually, and Christian Johnson on the board. Phil Elson is still on vacay, and we're joined now for the next couple hours by fisherman Clay Henry. Clay, always fun having you on. It seems like Phil might be having a good vacay, though, up there in New York.
Yeah, I think he drew some good weather. And is tomorrow the day that he does the show from the
Cooperstown? We're going to get, next 2 days, Cooperstown bound.
Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I think his boy, he's going to – I tell Phil when he talks, I do listen, but it's Jim Leland. There we go. That's who him and his dad, they love some Jim Leland. I think he's going into the Hall of Fame this weekend.
Yep. I mean, everybody's gonna grab a heater and sit in the stand. It's like man, he always had a heater going in the dugout. I don't think they let you do that anymore.
He made it look cool, that's for sure. You're like, that kind of looks cool, and then you actually
but they weren't cools. I think they were.
My goodness.
I don't think there are any filters on those smokes.
Man, there's Sensari. He's a soccer coach that was at Chelsea for a little bit, and that's a London club, and he had came over from an Italian club, and he was they won't let you smoke cigarettes. It's non-smoking. And so he would take the butts of it and chew on it you would see him just chewing on that in the game just to have his thing. It's a different world for some of those coaches. That's for sure.
You didn't play for Danny Ford, but man, he was a trip.
He liked it. Yeah.
He had Redman, and he would have a manager take bubble double bubble, and infuse them with tobacco, and like the stuff the Redman and kind of just wrap the 2 pieces of double bubble around it and put it back in the wrapper. So in the games he could take them out and he'd be blowing bubbles, except they were brown bubbles.
Oh my goodness. Talk about the juice. Woo!
It would be all over his shirts. They couldn't get it out. Stain would be so intense.
Well, let's we were talking a little NFL. I know we're going to get into some college football and a little Olympic talk, but let's we have a phone caller as we usually do. We're lucky that Charlie's calling in today. Charlie, what's up, buddy?
Man, I appreciate you putting me over, Matt. I'm going to try to get Phil to start doing that a little more. Clay can do it too, but Phil's just like, oh, we'll go to Charlie. Let's get this over with. So I appreciate it, Matt.
No.
no, I'm just messing. Phil wouldn't do that. He's awesome. But
not to the tuna.
Hey, oh no, not to the tuna, never. But Clay, I was going to ask you. I know you spent a lot of time around, Bobby, and in the past, and also, lately. And I was going to ask you. You said the other day. Now he calls his offense more of a power spread, right? Isn't that what you said?
I think that's what he always called it. Power spread.
Okay.
I don't ever think he,
puts it in a glass
aspired
box.
to be balanced.
Yeah.
He wanted to be able to do either one, and but definitely wanted to be able to run the ball. And if you couldn't run it, you're going to struggle. I mean, you have to make the linebackers and the strong safety play you honest. And
100%. Well, and I think last year that was part of our issue, right? So teams didn't have
it was
to.
-1 when they ran their base plays every time.
Yeah, I mean, even when two safeties were deep, right? We couldn't even get. I mean, we at best were getting 2 or 3 yards, or I mean, it was awful,
defenses could play that offense with an even number in the box and overpower you. Well, that's all you need to know. The offensive line. I mean, when they had numbers, and you can look, Matt. Explain it. You just count the numbers in the box, and you know what to do. And when you got even numbers, you should be able to block them, right?
Absolutely. Because there's 11 out there on the field, so you're always going to have a side that's going to be a little unbalanced, and it's do they balance up to your balance? Because the offense has to decide the strong side first, and then that's why you do a lot of motion, a lot of window dressing to figure out if they're in man, if they're in zone. It's because if you got those two high safeties, man, we want to be able to run the ball.
And they couldn't run it against even numbers, and that's a sign of a bad offensive line. Or weak, and they turn somebody loose on every play. If that's the bottom line, can you get a hat on a hat and give your running back a chance? And it's like they shouldn't have to miss the first guy. They shouldn't. I mean, they should be having to dodge the second guy. Past the line of scrimmage. But I mean, it was -1.
Remember KJ too. Even as soon as he took the snap, there were times somebody was on top of him before he could even get to probably his second or third read. So, but yeah, I think that's going to be, like you said, the biggest difference. And Ball, you watched the offensive line last year struggle in the spring, and they're going to be better this year. And behind them, obviously it's a little scary, but Tyquise Crawford's probably a swing guy, other than maybe center. So hopefully we're good there. I'm with you too, though, Clay, on linebackers. I think a lot of people are worried about this. But when you think about linebackers who can play in space, these two guys, Brad Spence and the guy they got from Georgia, they can run. Now, it may take them some time they're going to get it because Travis Williams is going to do a good job with that. But they can run and they can play in space. And I think they're going to be able to cover and do all kinds of things. Like you said, rush the passer too. So I'm not as worried. Now, behind them, I don't know. But I'm not as worried about them as other people
I think they've got more.
Anyways, y'all have a good one.
I think they're going to have the ability to play 5 linebackers, and I think that's what Travis wants to do. He's going to rotate guys. I think that was some frustration with some of the linebackers that left. It's like and I think the handwriting was on the wall that they were going to look for faster guys in the portal, and that's what they did. They made tackles, but they made them too deep. And you want to play downhill with your linebackers, but that requires, quickness and ability.
React and read, no question about it. Know your
step is
know
so
your
important.
keys.
Linebacker, Wilson Matthews told me one time, he said, and he coached linebackers, and he says, if you got to talk to them very much, they're not a linebacker.
Instinctual. That's what you want to see out of linebackers.
Tony Bua,
I think
get the ball. See ball, get ball.
Yes, and that's when I noticed with Chris Paul that we had when he got in 2 years ago when Bumper Pool was kind of going through his hip thing. You're like, oh, he flashed across the screen. He was making plays. I think of Caleb Miller, Jermaine Petty, those guys just hard-nosed, finding the ball, tackling in space. I think is really big for defense, because offense, it just takes one guy to kind of make a play. He can get something big, but as a defense, you got to tackle as a team. I mean, you really got to flow to the ball, and if you have guys that can make tackles one-on-one, that's good. But more than not in the SEC, it's hard to tackle these guys one-on-one.
Second guy gets you
Absolutely.
Down. Yeah, Jermaine Petty. That was really an interesting deal because I don't think he came as an inside linebacker. I think he thought he was a defensive end, a rush end.
Mm-hmm.
John Thompson set him there. I mean, he started making 15, 18 tackles. I mean, it's just like, I mean, you have to say, and I go into Herman's and his jersey's on the wall, and I'm so respectful of that jersey. And go back to the Ole Miss game that a lot of people talk about the plays that Matt Jones made, but and yeah, you know, you got some balls to Jason Peters and did some things, but that tackle he made, that game would still be going if he didn't make that tackle.
That's my favorite tackle in my 4 years up there.
In space, right?
That one, and you gotta kind of go to Eli to say you got to throw the ball in the end zone. He was 3 yards back, but that one, and then Tony Bua coming off the edge against LSU when we were in Little Rock. Nobody talks about that tackle. He wasn't supposed to do that. We talked about it later. I think you might have even talked to him, but that wasn't his role. But he saw what was going
made
on.
A decision.
Absolutely,
go make a play.
Without that tackle, we don't win that game.
So that's a guy that understood the game. And you talk with Tony, and it was a different level than everybody else. And I mean, even some great players that they didn't really know what they were doing. Tony always knew what he was doing and why. And hey, we could do a whole show on Tony, but linebackers I think will improve, and they're going to make more downhill plays. So we'll see. I mean, I was impressed, especially with Xavier Sori's athletic ability. I don't remember too many athletes that would have his speed playing inside at Arkansas. I just don't remember too many like that.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to get in. If anybody wants to get in with us as we get into this conversation, please do 877-377-6963. Call us, text us, let us know what you're thinking. We're going to get into breaking down a little bit of this defense here in this next segment. Clay and myself are kind of going into some D tackles, some defensive ends, linebackers, safeties, corners. The whole bit. So you guys stick around, and we'll be back right after this.
This is Halftime. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Do you guys skydive, or you got too much to lose? I would, because, I mean, I don't have anything to lose.
You know, about 10 years. This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
Take that A1 where the palm trees sway by little hideaway. Little and Corona, it's blurred fauna. I'm heading out today. I'm going
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, the King, George Strait, is leading this.
One of his new songs just released on his new album.
The new work, I like it. I like hearing it. I got to see
going
him
forward.
live. I know you've probably seen him live more than me, Clay, but I saw him live once when he came. It was the old Alltel Arena, and his last song for his encore was "The Cowboy Rides Away."
It always is.
Yeah, it's a good one. This is
the old hands that have been to all his concerts. When he cranks that one up, you kind of sneak out the side door. That's kind of an inside joke. I don't leave. I want to
take it all in. That's right.
I want to soak up the last drop. The best I've heard was I was on a fishing trip out to Colorado, and my buddy, my old cowboy buddy that goes to the NFR and has got horses on a ranch east of the Denver airport, Jim Daniel, grew up at Fush Valley, Arkansas, which is south of Mount Magazine, the Ouachitas. He rode a horse to school when he was in junior high. That's a little cool. But he took me to the Frontier Days rodeos in Cheyenne and had a front row seat for George Strait. I will always be in debt to Jim for that. And he kept it a secret for a while. Just like, hey, the fishing trip, there'll be 2 days stuck on the end of it. And that's what it was for.
Speaking of cowboys, one of my favorite Woody Harrelson movies, The Cowboy Way. Clay, we're celebrating Woody Harrelson today. He turned 63. My first into my introduction, so to speak, was White Men Can't Jump with Woody Harrelson, and he's been in a lot of great movies, and everybody knows him from Cheers. But what do you like Woody Harrelson? What's one of your favorite Woody Harrelson movies?
Well, we went through when we bought our weekend place in Cotter, we didn't really have much TV. We had streaming from our next door neighbor. It's from Bartlesville, Oklahoma. He was never there. And I'd put a case of little stubby Coors for payment for, stealing the Wi-Fi, which he gave us the password. But we watched Cheers over and over and over. And, White Men Can't Jump pretty good. And, there's some others that I really, really love with Woody. But it's going back to Cheers is my thing. I mean, he played, the straight man, the dummy, as good as you can play it.
Oh, he was. Yeah, no, I think of him for No Country for Old Men, just playing himself,
and
then
that was
semi-pro.
That was probably, as good a dramatic role as he's
Oh
played.
man, the Coen brothers nailed it with that one. That was Chigurh. What he said. I wouldn't think charm has too much to do with it. That's right.
No.
They let's talk a little bit about this Arkansas football team and kind of talk, like we said, a little bit about this defense. And I wrote down a couple things. I think the keys for any defense, but definitely this Arkansas defense is third down. You can say that's cliche if you want to, but it's when you get a team in third down, you got to get off the field. No question about it. 2, can you create turnovers? Can you be opportunistic? It's a team, bend, don't break. You got to create turnovers. And then 3, you got to be athletes. It's just the SEC. If you don't have athletes, you're not going to win. You got to go to the Big Ten or you got to do something else. You have to be able to tackle in space and limit the other team's explosive plays. If you give up 4, 5, 6 plays a game that are 20-plus yards plays, you're probably not going to win that game. Those are kind of my 3 things that I think that I'd like to see this defense do, and I think they can do these 3 things.
Yeah, a couple of things, Matt, that just kind of keep sticking with me on what helps your team win. And first of all, they got to score. They got to score in the 30s in SEC games. Can you score in the 30s? Because if you're not, almost everybody can score in the 30s. So
that's
the
a touchdown a quarter.
They need is an offense that can take the ball and go score, and it helps the defense so much. And I think they played good defense for a number of weeks last year, and they just gave out. And it was because
not getting any help.
Realized that they had to throw a shutout to win games, and you can't do that. Can you score on defense? And they led the conference in scoring, I think, as far as defensive points. So, and then I guess there's the third thing is, can they hit the quarterback? And Bobby Petrino said football is a really simple game. If you can hit the quarterback and if you can keep the other guys from hitting your quarterback, you're going to win. And he said this, KJ Jefferson, he got hit too many times last year. Some of it was his own doing, but some of it was not. So can this defense hit the quarterback? Do they have the speed to get home when they get a man loose? And it happens. There's going to be 3 or 4 times a game when you get somebody loose. Can you get to the quarterback before he can make a play? And I think they're more athletic. I think you spoke to that, Matt. And at cornerback, can they cover a slant for an instant? Just for an instant, because then you can get home. But if the slants seem to be open for too many plays the last few years, and that was a little better last year, they think they're a lot better in that regard this year.
Yeah, staying on this defensive side of the ball, I think of a guy, Landon Jackson. We'll start with him. He is our team captain, definitely on that defensive side. The one thing, Clay, there's a couple things I like about Landon Jackson, but one of the things I like about him, he reminds me of the way Michael Strahan played the game. If you remember those New York Giants team, Justin Tuck, Jason Pierre-Paul, but Strahan was the guy that could do both, meaning he could set the edge on the run game and he could rush the passer. I think Landon Jackson is not a one-trick pony. Like, he's not just one guy you're like, all he can do is rush the passer. I think he's a complete defensive end and can set that edge in the run game as well. I'm a big-time fan of Landon Jackson.
So if I think of the great Arkansas teams, and I'm going to go through a whole bunch of them, and I can tell you that every one of them had a Landon Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Landon Jackson is like some of those great linemen. He's a first-rounder. And there's a reason why, that they played they were successful when they had Wayne Martin. And that was Quinn Grovey's time. But they had a defense that could get sacks. Jamal Anderson, he was that guy.
Carlos Hall,
yeah. Billy Ray Smith Jr., Lloyd Phillips, and these are great players.
Marcus Harrison was another teammate of mine.
And it just changes. It changes the game. Will they refuse to be blocked? And that's what I saw with Landon Jackson as the season grew on. That last year he went from just being a pass rusher, that was what he wanted to do, is that first step get off, to where he could play straight and he could stop the run or react and still rush the passer. And you got to play both, because they'll use your strength will become a weakness that you overplay one area of the game. And I think you spoke to that, Matt, and I think you're right.
Man, Jamal Anderson made a lot of big plays. He was super fun.
Steve Connolly's another one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The one thing, Clay, that is, can this team create pressure without bringing an extra guy? Do we have enough talent, you think, with the Landon? And the thing that Landon can do is, well, maybe that tight end has to help and get a chip on him. Maybe that running back, instead of getting a free release to the outside, he has to stay in and help protect, which it's an attention to detail. It's something the team's going to worry about. But then do we have anybody else that, hey, if they got a double team Landon, do we have somebody else that can get to the passer?
Yeah, I think that what I saw in the spring was, a starting, the front four, they could all do that, but they're gonna break down and wear down. You can't. What will happen when they sub? How good are they? Is there a big drop off, or do they have two sets of like a first team defensive front, and then that second group is just kind of like 1A, 1B? Or is it a big fall off to the twos? Because the twos will have to play in the defensive front. If you don't, your second half won't be much. So, a defensive end, a defensive tackle, they can't play 70 plays. You've got the ones, they can play 40, but you got to have another group that can play 30. If that's the kind of game that it is, teams are going up down the field and there's a lot of plays.
Oh, in the SEC, no question about it. And then I think, Clay, it's a game you brought up that Oklahoma State, that second week, I don't be surprised they got
it's gonna be hot.
Yeah, and don't be surprised if they run the ball 40 times that game. I mean, they got the best running back in the country. Some people think, at least he led the nation in rushing last year, so they're going to ride him.
He's a physical beast. Yep.
And so, yeah, we'll see our D tackles. So you go with Landon Jackson at DN. I think of guys like Jermaine Brooks, Kurt Davis, some of my former teammates. I brought up Marcus Harrison, but guys that interior defensive lineman. Do you think there's a group? And you just kind of talked about it with DN, but do we have at least three where you can rotate a little bit there?
Yeah, I think Anton is it Junkuj? Juncaj. I think that there's a lot of hope that he's that kind of a guy.
Ready, yeah.
And then there's some others that they believe, but I think that, it's like Travis Williams told me. So we need to see more in camp, and they've got a couple of young ones that they really are interested to see where they are in their physical development. Can they get some plays? And I think they've got 3 defensive ends, maybe 4, and I think they might have 4 interior tackles. They don't have anybody like Cam Ball. Eric Gregory's is pretty good, and he's got some get off to him, to be an inside guy. They moved him in from end, so they've got some experience. But Landon Jackson, he's their war daddy. I mean, he's the guy that he has to have a good year for this team to be successful, in my opinion.
No question about it, and a sign of a good defense. You brought this up with hitting the quarterback. I think back to even the national championship game. Michael Penix missed a couple throws later on because he was looking at the rush.
They'd hit him a few times.
They hit him a couple times, and you're right on. Any quarterback, when we would play a Nick Saban defense, it felt like they had 12 out there. You had to be, you almost kind of rushed things a little bit so you were unsettled. And if you can get to that quarterback and make him a little uncomfortable, good things that happen for your defense.
Yeah, I mean, David Lee was the first one, your old coach,
yes,
quarterback
sir.
coach. I think he's still working.
He loves ball.
Quarterback development.
Clay, if I've ever met somebody that loves ball, that David Lee would be like one of the number one. He loves some ball.
Yeah, I mean, when I would ask him for an interview, it's like I knew that I better have 45 minutes to an hour blocked off because he's going to talk some ball. But he said that the key, and I think he might have told me this when he was coaching Grovey, the key is your quarterback reading his keys, or is he looking for the man that's coming free? Like you can't be watching the defensive front. You have to be confident that those guys are taken care of, and you know that your protections are right, and that everybody's accounted for, and trust your guys up front so you can have your eyes down the field. I don't think that was what was happening with KJ last year. I think he knew somebody was coming free, and he was like, who I got to make miss first, and then he would find somebody.
I think you're spot on that. No question about it. And we're going to talk a little bit about the offensive unit coming up. These linebackers is something I think I've been pretty heavy on, Clay, just talking to you the last couple of days, and that you want to see what's going on. I know we had a transfer from Georgia. And Arkansas really rich in linebacker heritage. You just think back over the last 20 years, man, we have some good linebacker play. Will this linebacker unit, which was our strength last year on defense, do you think it falls back a little bit, or can it be a strength this year as well?
I'm not sure that's the strongest area of the defense, but I think that there is some confidence there from Travis Williams. That's his position that he coaches, and he likes the group that he's assembled. And now they've got to kind of massage it a little bit. I think there's a huge jump in ability with the inside linebackers. I think that they have made a big change with Xavier Sori, who's a wow athlete, transfer from Georgia. You look at him, and I just think of Drew Sanders, that wasn't getting on the field at Alabama at the position he wanted, and brought 5-star ability to Arkansas just for 1 year. This guy is, when you watch him cut it loose and run to the alleys, and there just hadn't been many at Arkansas at that position. Jerry Franklin made a lot of tackles. I thought he was a step slow, and that's why he didn't make it in the NFL. But he made the tackles that he could get to, but he couldn't get to them all. And, if you're a step away and you stick your arm out and somebody says that's a missed tackle, he wasn't getting there, man. That's not a missed tackle if you reach out with your hand and touch him. And this is a guy that's going to get there because he's got elite speed, and will make some plays in blitz situations because of his speed, kind of like Drew Sanders did. I'm anxious to see him play. I should say I don't have anxiety, so anxious isn't the right word. I'm excited to see him play.
Yeah, run fits are a very important part for a linebacker. That lateral movement, we talked about it, I think, in the first segment about being instinctual. You got to read your keys and you got to fire your gun.
You got to be able to get there.
You got to have the talent. That's 100% right. We're gonna take a break, but when we come back, we're gonna continue on with the safeties and the corners. Still talking a little bit of defensive football for this Arkansas Razorback team coming up, and talking a little bit about their depth, talking a little bit about what the keys are for this defense this year. And Christian, can you smell it, man? It's getting in the air. Football's here. I'm getting excited.
I can.
Let's get it. We'll be back after this.
This is Halftime.
You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
This is halftime.
Do you want to see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on November 10th? Can you eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime? It's the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com. Go to hitthatline.com for more details and let's secure your seat at the table.
Warning, warning, attention all homeowners.
Hi, this is Justin at West Termite Pest and Lawn. It's definitely bug season, and we are priced to earn your business. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Call today for a free evaluation, 479-782-7291. West Termite Pest and Lawn, protecting your home, health, and peace of mind.
All services performed with children and pets in mind.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Words disappear. Words once so clear. Only echoes passing through the night. Lines on my face, your fingers once trace, fading reflection of what was.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Yes, sir. Back. halftime this beautiful Wednesday, just cruising right along. Phil Elson is out of town. We'll be back tomorrow live and at Better Than Ever from Cooperstown. So that's gonna be super cool. And Christian Johnston, sorry Christian, he's rocking the board today, man. Good, crushing it today, man. Having a good time. And then we got Fisherman Clay Henry talking a little Razorback football, talking a little bit whatever you want to talk about. We appreciate the listeners. Thanks for calling. Thanks for texting in. Y'all continue to do that. 877-377-6963. Doc from Omaha said, man, I appreciate you guys telling a little stories. We appreciate you listening, Doc.
We got stories, man.
You might not want to hear them, but we got them and we'll tell them. And Charlie in Camden, C Unit for sure, smelling it. Love you, Charlie. Keep it going. Then we had Woody Harrelson's birthday. We got that going on. We got Aaron in Mountainburg, Zombieland. And you know what? That's kind of funny. That's a great cast. Zombieland's pretty cool for what it is. Bill Murray cracks me up in that one. So yeah, we're just selling right along here.
How would you like to hang out on the set with Bill Murray and see what he really is?
I don't think
like?
I would say too much, I think I would just be aware and watching and just kind of taking it all in, Like I don't know that I would even talk for the time I was there.
just like, okay, what zinger is about to hit?
Just taking it all in. He would be he's one of you see the Cubs fans, which it's pretty cool. I know Phil Elson watching a little baseball, doing his baseball thing kind of got me thinking. But when I think of the Cubs and Harry Carey and not even the shirtless Harry Carey, but when Harry Carey does the take me out to the ball game, 7th inning stretch, all the Chicago Cub fans that through the years get to sing that song, and Bill Murray, no question, was one of the best at it.
Hey, we had a aspiring young Cub on this morning, Connor Nolan, for about 15-20 minutes.
How's it going so far? Where is he right now?
They've promoted him to AAA. He's with the Des Moines Cubs, Iowa Cubs. AAA. He's I think he had a nice start in Memphis this weekend. He's about 3 or 4 quality starts away from maybe getting a late summer call up when the rosters expand. And he talked a little bit about adding some pitches since he was at Arkansas. He kind of made it through his senior year just throwing fastball and curve. I think he had 2 different fastballs that he threw. But he's added. He said that the Cubs have hired a roving pitching coach, and his total mission, or big part of his mission, is to teach every one of their pitchers in their organization a sweeper. And I started hearing that word. It's kind of a slider curve that was that some people were throwing last year. But Connor says it's something that's helped him.
Man, how cool. Always pulling for Arkansas kids, and he's a local lad, Greenwood guy. So he's
he's in your fraternity, a starting quarterback that's won a game
from the River Valley. Yeah, from the River Valley, no question about it. Man, that's good to hear. Let's we're gonna go through the rest of this segment and keep on defensively, and then I think in the top of the hour we'll switch over to the offense. But we have 2 more positions to talk about, and I don't necessarily want to save the best for last, but you got the corners and the safeties, and when I think of cornerbacks throughout the years, Lawrence Richardson, Eddie Jackson, Ahmad Carroll, and then even David Barrett going there, and then last year you had McLaughlin that I thought was okay. I don't know where he is on the getting into the next level. But how do you see? And then, if you go safeties as well, Kenoy Kennedy, Steve Atwater, Ken Hamlin. I know yesterday we talked about recruiting Memphis kid, Ken Hamlin right there, super, super talented. But Arkansas, you talked about, Clay, last segment, Arkansas being really good when they had a defensive end, when they had somebody that could go get the ball. I think just as much we're really good when we have a safety that can make up. The thing that safeties do is make up for your mistakes. When they can make up, man, safeties are just so key. And when you have an elite safety, helps your defense.
Yeah, and I think they have a lot of confidence in Hudson Clark. And he's been picked on. I mean, he's not the fastest guy out there, but he also doesn't make any wrong steps. And I think that that he has played wherever they've been weak. In other words, when they've had injuries or something, he knows every position.
He's
He's able to step in, but he hasn't always played his best position. But I think free safety, where he can play center field and react and fix things and be the eyes of the coach out there, and he's probably going to have, the magic earphone in his ear where he's relaying signals from the upstairs. From Travis Williams. So they've got a lot of confidence in him, and he's an old head. He's been around. He's made plays. He's been picked on, but he's also probably as good a tackler as they've got on the team. When he's in position, he gets guys to the ground.
I think he tracks.
And that's what you have to have at safety. They can't make mistakes. They can't turn people loose. And you talked about the big plays, and if you're good at safety, you're not giving up 20-yard plays.
You absolutely have to come up on the run fit. But, Clay, I was going to kind of piggyback onto what you were saying. I think his ball skills are spectacular. I think the way he tracks the ball from the quarterback to where however, if it's a level 2 throw, if it's level 3, the angle he takes, it's what I've seen him do when he has getting interceptions, getting his hands on the ball, being close. I think that's one of his, and that might be back to the instincts and to how smart that you're talking about he is.
Yeah, I mean, he made plays as soon as he stepped on campus. I mean, and if the ball's in the air, the quarterback makes a mistake, and he puts some air on it. If it stays in the air, he's going to get there, and you better not be putting too much air on it with him around. I think they really like their corners, though, and they also are real high on Danico Slaughter, who's a transfer and is going to is probably going to be the nickel guy, and that's part of being a cornerback is that you can play nickel, you can play cover, and he can do both. And I think they feel like they've got 5 cornerbacks, including Slaughter, who's in their dime package, he's going to move to safety, and he's a guy that can cover some ground and has some athletic ability and can play in. If you're gonna play cover 0, your 2 corners and your slot cover guy who's your nickel, they've got to be able to lock people up on the slants, because you're not going to have much time to do anything other than that. Find a hot receiver, throw a slant. And your 3 cover guys, they've got to be next level. They've got to be somebody that the NFL likes. And I think they feel like they have that now with Keon Stewart, Jalen Braxton, who's the guy that had the most big plays on the defense in the spring. He led them, a true sophomore that played last year and played pretty well for a true freshman. I think they think he's going to go to a different level this year, second year playing in the SEC.
Nickelback is not a very good Canadian band, but it's one of the most underrated positions, Clay. When you bring
it's
up
a money position,
it is so important to have. You have to. You're a Swiss Army knife if you're the nickel guy.
Well, the slot is the closest good receiver to the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
That's the easiest throw.
Usually speedy.
You have to take that throw away.
No question about it. And then the cornerbacks, I wanted to ask you about Travis Williamson and how he does it. I know you talk about a lot of man. A lot of teams, especially when I was in Jacksonville, we had a cornerback named Brian and then a cornerback named Rashid. And Rashid was kind of our man guy. He was the athlete, and Brian was our cover 2 going to come in and tackle guy, and how big that is to have a cornerback that doesn't mind, because sometimes, Clay, these cornerbacks don't like kind of setting that edge and making a tackle, but it's very important that you're able to do that.
Yeah, and they're not going to play straight man. They're going to play combinations. They're going to play with the man free at safety. They've got some ability with Hudson Clark to walk up and take that 4th receiver if that's what you're going to do. I think they feel comfortable with that, but it's going to be some combinations, and that's why they play I'm pretty sure that we've got Braxton is going to play that boundary corner, and that Stewart's going to play the open side. I think that if you're good at cornerback, everything changes for Travis Williams and what he can call. Can he be aggressive up front, because he knows his guys have got 3 counts where they've got them all
I was about to say, if you
up.
can cover for 3 seconds, that's and then you got to get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Let's take a break real quick, and we'll come back and wrap up hour number 2.
Yo, don't be so cool, dude.
This is halftime.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center. We dial 782-8940.
Coach Todd Holland, head baseball coach of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. I call 782-8940.
Stay cool this summer with a York high-efficiency HVAC unit. Or for more information on endless hot water and high-efficiency tankless water heaters, give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles, 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit the website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers, and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Got 6 troubles on my back. Got 6 little milk tea all gone bad. Won't move over, won't keep on, won't move over.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, man. What a fun day. Little football meat sandwich, so to speak, man. We're having a good time today on Halftime, talking a little bit about the defense. Top of the hour, we'll get into a Coach Nutt story and then talk a little offense. But right now, we got a phone caller, so let's go to the phones. Brian, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on, Matt? I got a question for you, and maybe Clay can answer this and Steve's there too. So, I just wanted to know what kind of speed Arkansas has on their defensive back in the secondary. 2 years ago, they'd say, Texas' offensive line could outran their defensive back. But here's the deal. I'll just talk about Texas in particular. Their top 7 receivers all run a 4.3 speed or better. They lost one receiver, then Brennan Thompson, that ran a 4.2 speed because he couldn't crack the top depth of the top 7 receivers. Does Arkansas have that kind of speed to contain those receivers? And I don't believe most of the SEC does, but I'm just wondering about Arkansas's secondary, and I'll hang up and listen to you.
Yeah, Braxton is their guy that on the boundary side that has been clocked over 20 miles an hour. That's elite speed. Whether you want to say what it is in the 40, usually that's 4.4 or better when you run over 20 miles an hour. That's Matt Jones' speed. I think they feel good about their speed in the secondary. Obviously, Hudson Clark at free safeties, he doesn't run like that. But they're he's going to play center field, and I think they feel like he can make plays from that position.
Texas is loaded with talent, Clay. There's no question about it.
Yep.
November 16th, we get to host them in Fayetteville, so that should be a good one. We'll see. We'll know a lot about this football team. We'll have an identity. And, man, I circle a lot of games, Clay. That Auburn game I circled for sure, but definitely November 16th against
We'll
Texas.
be there.
We'll be looking for that one. Well, we got one more wonderful hour coming up of this version of Halftime. We got to get a little Coach Nutt story Christian's got for us today, and then keep on talking a little bit Arkansas football. So we'll be back right after this.
This ad is for the paint store in Van Buren. I doubt you thought paint was anything like football, right? So for football, you need a team. For painting, you might need a primer, the perfect color, maybe a top coat, and bug juice to keep the spiders and bugs away, right? So it takes a team of products to make the winning paint job. The right place for that is in Van Buren at the paint store, and the right place for certified grass-fed beef from M&M Farms in Rudy. That's right, all at 1414 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren.
Are you looking for a great deal on a previously owned vehicle but want to avoid high-pressure sales? If so, you need to visit Edwards Auto Sales in Roland. For over 30 years, Ernie Edwards and his staff have helped folks from Arkansas and Oklahoma River Valley buy a quality vehicle and offer a buy here, pay here program as part of their services. Some restrictions may apply. Come visit Edwards Auto Center newly remodeled facility, 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge, the first car dealer on your right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
Whether you are fishing a jetty on the Arkansas River or working around laydowns at Beaver, Washita, or Table Rock, the Heddon Super Spook Jr. is the topwater bait to call up summer bass. The Super Spook Jr. is a smaller version of the world's most famous topwater lure. The Spook is the original walk-the-dog lure and has been tricking big bass for almost 100 years. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere, the Heddon Super Spook Jr.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a little bit of patchy fog to start, otherwise sunshine. Our high this afternoon into the mid to upper 80s. Could see some scattered showers across the south. Mainly clear north tonight, mid 60s. We'll see some showers and thunderstorms south, overnight lows closer to 70 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 36 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're gonna go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, Matt Jones may take it to the house. The dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Even one Razorback. And vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Yes, sir. Back halftime, third hour on this wonderful Wednesday. Phil Elson still in New York. We'll be hosting a little co-host of the show tomorrow from Cooperstown. So looking forward to that. We've been having a good time today. Thank you for our listeners, calling in and texting in as well. You can do just that, 877-377-6963. Got Kristen Johnston on the board, Fisherman Clay Henry talking a little football talking a little bit, really, whatever you guys want to talk about. Olympics are getting under the way on Friday. I was wrong. Yesterday, I was for some reason I thought the opening ceremonies were Wednesday, but they're Friday. So that's going to be fun. I'm always excited for the Olympics. Clay, do you have a favorite Olympic sport? Or do you have one that you think, because you know what, in the Winter Olympics, which we found out that Salt Lake City is going to be hosting in 2032, that the one where they take that .22 caliber and they ski the slopes and then you got to shoot your target. That is my favorite. That's what, when I was a child growing up, in the state of Arkansas, shooting a gun, being an athlete, I was like, that's what I want to do. That would have been my Olympic sport that I wanted to train for. But in the Summer Olympics, you can be winners. Do you have an Olympic sport that you love?
Well, when they get to the track, towards the end of the whole deal, and it's a 3-ring circus track meet. And I mean, for people that haven't been to an indoor track meet, it's an hour and a half, 2 hours where it just goes boom, 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 and that's what happens with the Olympics. And they do a nice job of setting the stage over the course of several nights when they have the prelims, and then boom, it all happens. And I'm I think it's pretty electric when you watch the 200 and the 100 and the 400, those fast races, and then the mile's almost a sprint now, the 1500. So yeah, I think I like the track the best, but I mean it's night by night. It's something different, and I'll watch some of the basketball. I mean I don't think that I'll see all the games. The timing of it probably won't be, that won't fit what my schedule is going to be. They seem to play at odd times just because of the difference in times.
They, I'm with you on that. The basketball team will be more of, when they get into the championship knockout rounds.
Yeah, the when you know the medals are
yeah,
lining up.
Yeah.
I'll watch the beach volleyball. I kind of like that, and it can go on and on and on. It's like sometimes they do a nice job of breaking it. Says, this match is about to be excited, and you watch, 15, 20 key points and see that, again, when it gets to the medal rounds, the swimming can be interesting. I think the sprints and not that I'm not a, Katie Ledecky person, because she's swimming those longer races. But I like the short races, where it's like one trip down or one trip down and back, or the relays when you see who's got the fastest 4 swimmers in the world. That's okay. So I'll watch the gymnastics, but that's not my go-to stuff. And for some, that is what it's all about.
Caleb Dressel guy right there. That's what I like. He's a 27-year-old guy. He 5 gold medals, and he's in the 50-meter fly.
It's over quick.
Or 50-meter free. I'm sorry. It makes me. You bring that up. It makes me think of that 60 meters indoor championship. When they run the 60, how quick it is. If you blink, you're going to miss it.
Speaking of speed, and Brian called in, and he quoted the Texas receivers, and we'll get into some of this next hour. But Bobby Petrino went through 4 wideouts they had, in their top 10, so to speak, that are all like 10-3, 10-4, 100-meter guys. Mm-hmm. That's real speed.
Oh, absolutely.
That's Lawrence Richardson, Batman Carroll speed. So Texas is not the only team with speed at wide receiver, and I think that's one of the fixes that Bobby Petrino made in the last 9 months at Arkansas, is adding some speed at wide receiver.
Have to have speed in the SEC. There's no question about it. Did you see Walker Zimmerman? I figured you'll know who that is. But I love how on the soccer team for the Olympics you get 3 over players, and he's one of them. He's a defensive guy, kind of can be stable, and I know we start off with France in the group play, but maybe this U.S. soccer team can do something.
Well, it's a chance to find out about some young players that you're going to see.
Maybe you can use them in 2 years.
4 years. Yeah. And I guess we don't have a coach yet. This is where they're still offering and getting refusals, right, to be the coach for the men's national team.
The England job's open right now, Clay. I would think that you're looking at guys that would want that. Yeah, the American job, I don't know if is it a top 20 soccer job? I mean, the pay is going to be fine. The facilities are going to be fine. You're going to have all those luxuries, but
except players.
That's what I mean. that's kind of a big part of it. And that England team, that would be the one as far as getting the next gig.
Well, there's just a huge difference between, say, what we can put on the court in basketball for an Olympics and what we can put on at a World Cup, what we can put soccer players as far as comparison. Nobody's got, 10 NBA or 12 NBA players like what we've got on this roster, both men and women, not there in soccer. That's not, I like to say that we're still an emerging country in soccer. So, it's come a long ways, but there's still a gap.
No question about it. And you brought up Nelly Korda yesterday, the golfer, and I hadn't really heard about her, but she seems to know what she's doing on a golf course. And especially, and you're thinking of Americans, because I was thinking of the men golfers, and then I don't really think of American in the women golfers.
Yeah, well, she won 5 in a row this spring and summer, which that's Nancy Lopez territory, and she would be the odds-on favorite. And we haven't had a true clear number one USA women's player in a while. Stacey Lewis got there and stayed there for a little while. But Nelly Korda looks like she could be around for a while. She battled some health problems. I think she had, it was a serious problem with her lungs. And I think she got over that. Yeah, and she is a fantastic athlete, and when you see her swing it, it's like watching Rory McIlroy or Adam Scott. It's a sweet swing, a lot of power.
I love it. Team USA all the way. And I was looking at the surfing, and surfing's only been in it since 2020, so this is the second time. The women have the returning champion, Carissa Moore, but I was John
Listen to you.
John Florence, right, Clay? So when I went to Oahu, I drove through his hometown, and there were so many signs that they loved John because he was the best surfer in the world a few, it was 10, 12 years ago. I went, but he's the guy for America. They start him young over there, but he's from Oahu, and he's the man surfer that people are going to be looking at. So that's pretty cool.
When we were at Maui, we drove to the windward side, like everything cool to stay at. It's all on the lee side. That's the softer side with the surf and everything. But we went over there and watched the wind surfers. I believe that's the north side, but I could be wrong. But it was just like, these people, they have a different level of nerves to get out there in that.
Oh, no question. They're out in the elements. That is crazy. The one sport, Clay, that I don't think I'd be any good at. Well, there's a lot of them that I wouldn't be any good at, but the one that really kind of intrigues me is the sport climbing. Those ladies and those dudes, they're all like almost from Colorado, but they could do like 30 pull-ups just with the tips of their fingers.
They're spider monkeys.
Man, their grip is unreal, but that's always something I like watching as well.
Yeah, there's some unique aspects of some of these I don't know if you call them events, and I'll get into that, but I definitely hold still when they start running the short races in track, both men and women.
Yeah, it's like watching Shohei Ohtani come up to the batter's box. You're
Stop
like,
and hold still for a few minutes.
We're gonna watch this. They have one more. I know we were going to get into the football. We'll do that here in the next segment. But the Sonny Chow, it's called breaking, and it's like a break dancing thing. How is this a sport? When you start realizing, like, what is this? Have you seen any of this, Clay?
No, but yeah. I mean, I've watched some stuff they do. Like,
it's pretty. You got to be athletic.
Where you've got a stick in a ribbon and you're dancing and doing that. It's like, I don't know what that is, rhythmic or whatever. And
that's what Will Ferrell does in Old School. That's the only time I've seen that. Yeah. They gotta, that's what they're trying to do. Well, I just want to talk a little Olympic talk and talk about some of the Americans that are going on.
I'll tell people that you may be people are getting it in the mail right now, but the current Hogs Illustrated, which came to my house Saturday, is a history of Razorbacks in the Olympics, and it's got bios of all the Razorbacks that are there right now, and it is intense coverage, and it's well put together. It's got a lot of cool pictures from through the years. Guys like Joe Klein in the Olympics, and
it's a hard copy, not a digital copy, right?
It is, yeah. It's a 4-color slick magazine.
Hey, Clay, I wanted to ask you about your Mike Conley passing the gold medal, but while we still got you, okay.
Yeah, so when he won the Olympic gold, what was that in the mid-90s?
Was it the LA? Was it Barcelona was 92, but then 88 was that?
Yeah, I think it
84.
Was. But he had the gold medal, and I think McElroy Bank, which I think that was before it became Arvest, joined. But McElroy Bank had something down on the square, and they had a podium set up, and he talked to everybody. And there's maybe 500, 750 people there, and he has the gold medal around his neck, and he takes it off and walks up and hands it to the crowd.
How cool!
And now I'm sure there was somebody that was assigned to track that thing. But it got passed around, and if you wanted to, you could hold it. and it passed around for while he talked. I mean, it was as cool as anything I've ever seen. And you know, I mean, Mike Conley is a neat dude. I don't know if you've ever been around him, but he's a neat dude, and I thought that was extraordinary to see somebody take a gold medal off and hand it to the crowd.
It's kind of a little bit like DeChambeau when he won his major, taking the trophy around and letting everybody touch it. That's
different. Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty cool. Well, when we get back, we're going to take a break here, and then we're going to hear a Coach Nutt story from Christian, and then we're going to continue on and talk a little bit about this Arkansas offense, and we'll be back right after this.
This is halftime. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
The most pressing issue for him is when the
Tommy
slobbering
reference
hog
your
is going back on the court.
And will the slobbering hog be drinking a Coke or a Pepsi?
The slobbering hog is actually on the court 2 times now, adjacent to Coach Nolan Richardson's signature. Yeah. I don't know that it's going to go back at midcourt anytime soon, but it's on there twice.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9, only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Hot summer soon gives way to fall hunting season. And with the new Arkansas Early Bow Hunt, now is the time to get your new Hoyt Alpha X or the Carbon RX-8 dialed in. Check out the new Lift compounds from Matthews, the bow that puts aluminum in a new light. Sub 4 pounds and shooting 348 feet per second. Jelco Outdoors, your full-line archery store in the River Valley. Get ready for fall bow hunting at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine, scheduled, maintenance. You know it's coming one day, but that day's in the future. Then the future comes, and your wallet's not ready for that $250 maintenance. But your forklift is. It needs it. Good thing you're smart. You're buying a used forklift from Medley Equipment Company this summer, and its first planned maintenance will be free because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Get the hottest deals of the year on your next Arctic Cat during the Green Tag Sales Event at Adventure, Oklahoma, at Auto Finders Highway 64 in Roland. Save up to $2,500 on select off-road Arctic Cat vehicles in stock. Financing available, but hurry, this event ends soon. Get an Arctic Cat now at Adventure, Oklahoma, at Auto Finders Highway 64 in Roland. See autofindersok.com.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It's in time of the season. When love runs high in this time, give it to me easy. And let me try with pleasured hands. Take you in this promised land to show you season for love.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right. Happy to be here today, this wonderful Wednesday, 119. Phil Elson in New York will be back tomorrow from Cooperstown. So we're looking forward to that. Christian Johnson running the board today.
He's looking forward to that.
Yeah, he is. You know,
that's like going to be one of his high. I guess his buddy runs the museum, right? He's got the keys to the back door.
It's like that movie with the Zoolander guy, The Night at the Museum. They just don't you just got to get out before they lock it. So at night you don't want to know what goes on there.
They're gonna walk around with champagne bottles after it closed.
Ben Stiller. There we go. There we go.
It's like, hey, I'm gonna put on Hank Aaron's jersey, and strut around for a little bit with my champagne bottle. I mean, I don't know if there's got to be a Hank Aaron jersey.
Yeah, that'd be like Davy Crockett's hat. It'd be the same thing.
Right. I want to fire his musket.
We're gonna get back into a little football talk, but first, one of my favorite coaches, one of the best to ever do it up there on the Hill. It's not him, but he's somebody who works with them. Christian had heard this morning. We're gonna play a little story for you.
Yeah, it's Michael Beaumont, the athletic director for the Fort Smith.
Did he work with Coach Nutt at Ole Miss?
Yes.
Okay.
I know at Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tommy referenced your background with Coach Nutt. We hear stories from our buddy Matt Jones on Halftime every day. Do you have a specific Coach Nutt story that you think our audience would be like to hear this morning?
Let me tell you, being around Houston, the persona that you guys see on TV and the recruiting talks that you all hear about and how he is, that is that guy 24 hours every single day of the week. And he's just that energy and that excitement and that bouncing around, that infectious, that's him all the time. And he never, I don't ever remember a time of him ever cussing or getting upset or but he makes you feel like that you have let him down as if your dad, I had made a mistake on a recruiting weekend and I got called in on the carpet and he's looking at me and he's like, well, Mike, I got to tell you now. And you said just like, I got to tell you, not only now did you let me down on this, now that's your name. That's all you have. And now people are going to think of you. I don't know if this can be fixed. Now, I don't want this to happen again. And I'm like, Coach, I will not. You walk out of there feeling so small and thinking, man, I just let my dad down. I'll never let that happen again. And so he's great to be around. I'll never work for another person like him. And he's just, I was blessed for him to take a chance on me. I'm a high school coach that he brought onto his staff, and I'll never forget that.
How cool. And one of the things he said right there, Clay, and you know this, one of the words, if you had one word to describe Coach Nutt, I mean, there's a lot of different words, but consistency.
He didn't have any bad days.
He was one of the best to do it up there.
Yeah, and he was about, and Mike told stories this morning about, and I wasn't on the segment. I was right after it. It was a tough act to follow, to be honest, about, they're holding camps. And, it's like 9:00 at night, and you're kind of done with camp stuff. Everybody's gone to bed, supposedly. And he would get the camp coaches together, and they go turn the lights on to the basketball arena and play till 2 a.m. And then camp started, it starts at 7 at breakfast the next morning, and he's up and bouncy. Mm-hmm. And the rest of us is like, man, he played till 2 a.m. last night, played hoops.
Didn't lose very many games either, yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it was not a fair matchup. I mean, it was I mean, and he's playing with his brother usually, one of them, and that's not fair. Those guys. Hey, now you and Clark Moore beat him some, didn't you?
That was Danny and Houston. Yeah, we had a 2-on-2 and we had a series to 7 and we won. And I'll tell you the reason we won, not because of me, but they underestimated Clark. Clark, he's a horse down there.
Played around the rim
and has touch. Yeah, man. Clark could kind of do his thing, but I'll never forget this, Clay. Where I was guarding Houston. And his arms might be longer than mine. He used to do this thing with the quarterbacks. If you dropped a snap, like if you had a new center come in and an exchange, something's going on, he would get that center to go down there. He would put one hand underneath the center, just one hand, just his top hand, and that center would snap the ball, and he would just catch it and be like, "How hard is that?"
You better hit that hand, hadn't you?
Well, but he's like, "How hard is that? You got two hands down there, you know, like he had these eagle claws.
Point.
Yeah. But with his basketball skills with his hands, that dude could dribble, because his hands were so big. But he got a hold of it.
Passed it without looking. I mean, it was the no look pass. I mean, that's what he did, and he wasn't as fast as some other guys. I mean, that was his liability, but he had range. And I was talking with Danny Nutt. He goes, Houston just, would start off shooting and then he'd move back 5 feet. He'd move back 3 feet. All the ones he's shooting, 20, 28 footers, and he looked the same. His hands were so strong that he could shoot it from way out there without changing his motion.
Yeah, no, I love some Coach Nutt stories. That's pretty cool. Hey, let's get into a little bit of this Arkansas offense while we still have a couple more segments on this wonderful Wednesday. If you guys want to get in with us on your thoughts, any stories or anything that you got on this Arkansas offense, that's what we're going to be discussing. 877-377-6963. Please give us a call, text us, let us know what you got going on. My question, Clay, is we hear a lot of talk, and there's a little bit of an unknown with Taylen Green coming in, but I know they went and got their guy. But I need to ask you about QB number 2. Something happens with I have faith in what I'm seeing and getting to talk to him at SEC Media Days. You want to see it on the field, but the thing I like is they went and got their guy. But let's say something happens. We know it's a war of attrition. It's a contact sport. Do we have a clear-cut number 2, or is there still a battle going on?
So here's kind of my thoughts on that. Is they named Taylen Green, and I think they knew that from what they'd seen and 7-on-7s and stuff over the winter and drill work. The NCAA allows you to do a lot more things in the winter than you used to could do in your day, Matt. It
was just Don Decker out there a lot with us.
Yeah. And the coaches can do some certain things, and they knew what they had, and that job was established pretty quick. They might know their number 2, but here's what's going on at quarterback now. Is if you leave spring and you say that guy's my starter, that guy's my number 2. 3, 4, and 5 leave. So they just don't want to. They don't want to say too much, and they don't.
I didn't even think of that.
Declare so that the handlers get to you and say, "Man, you're on the pine again. It's time for you to. We've got such and such destination for you." So whether it's Malachi Singleton or it's KJ Jackson, the lefty freshman. I think they really like those guys. Bobby talked to me about 4 of them, or maybe 5, that they think they've got some depth and some ability. But you're right. Nobody hardly makes it through an SEC schedule with one quarterback. You just especially if you're going to turn them loose to run, they're going to get hit, and shoulders and ribs are going to take a beating. Ankles, knees, all that stuff is. So, I think that we've been in a situation where our number 2 couldn't carry you through to a victory that, when you put him in. Can your number 2 finish off a game?
I think Tyler Wilson in that Auburn game coming in.
Yeah. I think that they like Singleton. They think that he's probably a better runner than a thrower, although he can throw. KJ Jackson, the true freshman, he dazzled some with some of the things that he could do throwing wise. He could put it in a little tight window, made some mistakes on decision making. That's a freshman. So we'll see what I think they wanted to see Jackson after another summer of going through the installs and where he was when they came back, because I believe that he has some magic in that left hand, that left arm. I mean, he makes some throws that you go, wow, that, there's some RPMs there. But he's probably not ready. So I think it'll be Singleton, but, it's what they do in the first 10 days of practice probably will determine that.
Man, that's always that. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting battle, and it's a lot of unknown because I would say, Clay, how long has this been? When's the last time you have an Arkansas quarterback, and especially just the room? Is there 0 SEC snaps between all these quarterbacks?
Yeah, I can't remember Singleton's. If he ever got in a game. It seems like it was Criswell that got in.
Criswell, I like number 6, Criswell. He got in there and
he didn't
do bad.
He lost his stinger, and I think that when he saw that
when they got the other guy
ahead of him, and I think that he kind of had his dauber down, and attitude was not what you really would want, and I think they knew he was on the way out before spring practice was over, that he was looking. And I mean, that's what he's got to do to be real honest. If you're
it's hard when a new coach comes in.
Your clock is running.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah. So I think my wife just pulled.
Well, let's. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break here, and we're going to continue on with some offensive talk after this. All right.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. How often do you compare yourself to others? It's easy to envy friends' lives on social media when you only see the good parts. But comparison is the thief of joy. Online therapy helps you focus on what you want, not what others have. Because your best life is better than the idea of someone else's. Visit BetterHelp, HELP.com/Greenberg today to get 10% off your first month.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Up to $12,000 off during the Summer Smash event. Harry Robinson, Sallisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Sallisaw. The best selection of the summer, the best deals of the summer, now through Monday.
Yes, Tommy, I'm so excited. Summer Smash sales event. This is going to be the biggest sales event that we've ever had. If you're in the market for a vehicle, it doesn't matter. New, used, car, truck, van, SUV. Come down here and see us during this event because we are not going to miss your business. We've got pre-owned inventory up to $12,000 off. We've got new inventory up to $10,000 off. Special APRs as low as 0% financing, and we've got the test drive. Go on a test drive. That's all you have to do, and you get this baseball bat, and you get to go to town and start swinging on one of these cars.
How many swings I get?
You get as many as you want, Tommy.
It's the Summer Smash event. Savings up to $12,000. Harry Robinson, Sallisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Sallisaw. Online at harryrobinson.com.
Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles, 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit the website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey and Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. West Arc Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact West Arc Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. West Arc Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call West Arc Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro Diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge side-by-side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions and Ranger XD 1500s. New Suzuki GSX 8R. New 2024 model Polaris Slingshots, including the Roush Edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You say I love you, but it ain't true. I want you to won't go back to you grab me by the hand, hang you up from the heavens. I don't know how to let you go, or if I should keep you. I don't know how to let you go. Hey, I really do have a reason to grab you by the hand and drag you to the devil.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Oh my goodness, we've almost made it, Christian. It's Christian. Sorry, I'm saying Christian with the Johnston. So maybe I haven't made it, but maybe I'll get there. But we're having We're having a good time on this Wednesday. Fisherman Clay Henry with us as well. We're Phil will be back tomorrow, so it'll be good. And we got a little live fan feedback. We're happy to hear that the dogs are happy and well, and there's no question about it. We are happy to hear that the dogs are well.
You heard
the other
dogs.
thing, no, but that was good. The other thing I was happy to hear,
that was a FedEx man, was
did you get some new flies?
I think this is one of my wife's purchases.
Okay.
I won't say what it is on the air.
One of the
I'm not sure I know.
Things I was happy to hear Clay say was, I think the quarterback room's going to be better. So that's good news to have going forward this year.
Don't you have a little confidence that this coach understands how to develop quarterbacks? I mean, we've just seen it. That's his strength,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows how to push the buttons and get what I should say.
If you're a quarterback and you don't listen,
demands what he's going to get. Yeah.
If you I get there might be personal differences or at it whatever. But if you're a young quarterback and Bobby Petrino's telling you something and you don't listen, shame on you. Like you look at his resume, his track record, no question about it. I want to move to the receivers that we had brought up when we had at the end of the last hours a group of receivers from a different school. But I want to talk about the Arkansas receivers, and I think Clay, that I like some Andrew Armstrong. I think he beats man coverage. He attacks the football. Kind of reminds me of Anquan Bolden when he goes and gets it. He's a big physical guy that you're not going to arm tackle. But who else do we got going with him? It's time for some of these younger kids to step up.
I think the interesting the dynamics of what this team might be centers on the slot receiver, and I think that's Isaiah Satania. And they like they like Isaac Tesla there too, and Tesla might play some other positions. I think that you're going to see more situations where they have some space to operate because of the way they're going to run the ball. If you can effectively run the ball, then your coverage is changed in the secondary, and you're not seeing 5 men, 6 men all the time in coverage. And I think that really compromised what Tesla could do, that there wasn't time for him to get open because of protections, and the quarterback wasn't looking down the field. And I think he was open more than people thought, but it looked like he wasn't getting separation, but it was because of the way people stack their coverages to him. He was the best hand guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Satania showed in the spring that he can be an electric guy. And I asked Bobby Petrino, I said, is he a Jarius Wright? And he says, absolutely, the same skill set. Now, he said, you got to go do it in a game. But we saw him do things after the catch in the spring, and Bobby said that you would be reminded of Jarius Wright and Joe Adams. You're talking about, again, a 10-3 100-meter guy, 10-4 100-meter. I mean, that's what
they
it
just
was
need a
in high
little
school.
space. Yeah.
Yeah, but it just changes the dynamics. And he named off, about 4 guys that had that kind of speed that he's excited about, and that they think, I don't think what we saw from Broden and Armstrong last year is a true indication of their ability because of the lack of protections. There just wasn't any way to evaluate the passing. And I mentioned it earlier. I felt like KJ was watching the rush instead of going through his keys, because it just didn't look functional. It looked dysfunctional.
There was a hesitation involved. You're right.
Well,
I think you're right.
Was.
Confidence, whatever belief, whatever you want to call it, it wasn't there. And you bring up Tesla, Clay, and I think in this portal world, and everybody comes in and you expect greatness right away. I think this kind, because Tesla came from a smaller division, then he got up in the SEC. Things weren't right.
Speed's a little different.
Yeah, and you just brought. Our offense wasn't really right. I expect big things. I could see Tesla having 28 catches, 7 touchdowns, and his catches being third down catches or red zone catches, using him in a different way. I think Tesla could have a breakout year.
Yeah, and if you're going to talk about the passing game, you better throw those tight ends there to Luke Haas, Varkey's Gum. Those are playmakers. Tyus Washington, and I think they're, they still need to get him in the mix. He's coming off shoulder problems, and I guess Luke Haas is too. But Petrino says that we got guys that can catch it and they can block, and I think the combination of the two, they haven't had that. They haven't had a guy. They had guys that could catch it. I don't think Luke Haas, they could line up and go point of attack with him blocking.
You're not going to run power over him, yeah.
He's going to help a tackle, but he's not going to take on, an SEC defensive end. He might chip on a linebacker or go after a safety, but he's got that combination of ability to block and the toughness that they saw in the spring, and he's a difference maker.
Well, if you go 11 personnel with one tight end, and you have Luke Haas, and you're even able to flex him out, it's almost like having 4 wideouts when you go to that personnel. And then when
he's that way. Yes,
yeah. That was my next question, was going to be, how much do you see these tight ends kind of getting that 3-yard, 5-yard split from the tackle, kind of flexing out a little bit?
Yeah, and he lines up in line, and he's got a linebacker on him. Then he steps out, and that linebacker goes with him. It's a mismatch. Every time it's a mismatch. You better be playing him with a safety or a nickel, because he's going to beat that coverage, because he has, and he's gonna high point the ball. He's gonna turn his hips, catch the ones behind him, make the quarterback look good. He's quarterback's best friend on third down.
And we're going to save the best for last, so we're going to go running backs and then offensive line, and that was the receivers, the quarterback, and the tight ends. But we got to transfer in Jaquindon Jackson that everybody's pretty high on. He's solid. He's tough, physical
Beast
runner.
mode.
You got DeBinion that's coming back, who might have the best hands out of the running backs. He always fall forwards. Can be his third year going. I expect a lot of things from him.
Yep.
We got the true freshman coming in from Little Rock,
Braylon Russell. Yeah,
and how do you
great hands there too? I mean, for a big man, he's Bobby talked about going back to his high school film and seeing him run vertical routes and high pointing the ball, making plays, and you just kind of okay. You got running backs that can catch it. Well, you think Bobby might run some wheel routes? It's like that's the old Ronnie Wingo plays. He's got some weapons, and I think that there's there might be 4 or 5 running backs that he likes in that room, and he's got some. He called it different flavor. At the newcomers, the 2 guys that they haven't seen a lot. They got some wiggle in them, and. Do we want to go straight to offensive line? We have time for that.
Yeah. We got time to go to the O-line. Absolutely.
The key thing is that they've got a left tackle, and they are hard to find. If you don't have a left tackle, then your quarterback's dancing the whole game because of protection failures. And I think Fernando Carmona is a stud. Bobby Petrino told me straight up, he said he's an NFL guy. You're going to see him play on Sundays for a long time. Well, if you don't have one of those guys, then you're in trouble in the SEC because defenses are going to put a weak side guy or a guy to your back side to that left tackle spot that's going to overwhelm him. And that's what we saw. To be real honest, we've seen it a lot lately at Arkansas. I thought that this guy was really a stud in ability to move, quick feet, got that 6'5", 330 body that seems to be the typical size for those left tackles in the SEC, and then I like Keyshawn Blackstock on the other side, right tackle, transfer from Michigan State. These guys have played.
They've been through a college offseason.
Yeah, they have, and they've played in other programs. And I think Austin Nichols at center just kind of anchors them and is a big physical presence. He's a Tennessee transfer. Joshua Brown is better at right guard. Massive human being. I mean, he's
a Florida guy, right? Or Georgia, Florida.
He transferred from Florida.
Yeah.
He's he was recruited by Sam as a young player, when had some interest in Georgia. Yeah. And I think Patrick Kudus is much better at guard, and I think you can give him some help, and he's matured. You can hide people at guard a little bit. You can't hide them; they're on an island at tackle, and he's. Bobby says he's a good player. He had a really good spring. So I think they feel good about their offensive line. I think they've got some depth in the middle, and then they really think Emarion Harris has turned the corner. The lights come out. He's a little bigger. He's back over 300 pounds. He lost from like 360 to 275, 280. Did that Brandon Burlesworth deal where they finally got all that baby fat off of him. Now it's lean muscle. He played in the bowl game 2 years ago at Kansas. Had to start and did just fine. Just didn't seem confident last year, but they liked what they saw. And then you got Tychus Crawford, working on the right side, both at tackle and guard. I think so. They might have 7, 8 offensive linemen, and that's kind of the number you try to get to.
What is absolutely. I think of Coach Markinson in our offense, where in something Coach Nutt told me is you got to have at least 3 running plays you can run, whether it be a zone. Whether it be a power, whether it's a trap, misdirect, whatever you got to have a couple of them. What do you think will be our kind of run play? Is it more of a zone scheme or more of a power scheme?
Yeah, I think Bobby likes the power stuff. He likes to to load up and help somebody inside,
like combo up to the next level.
Yeah. I think that's I think Sam talked about that a little bit at the SEC media he's able to do some things that take some pressure off linemen and give them help in his system. But they're going to run it inside. They've got downhill runners. Jackson certainly is, and I think Russell is, and I think Tubinian, he can set his foot and make a cut, but I think he's better at finding daylight and sliding through those holes and gaps. And but yeah,
he's got a little wiggle, yeah.
But I think with the two tackles, that both those guys kind of fancy themselves as a mean person. And I'm not saying they play after the whistle, but I'm saying that they want to maul you. And if you don't have that at tackle in the SEC, you're not going to have a running game. You're just not. And you know, when you're in the huddle, you're the quarterback, and you're looking at all those guys. You want to walk up there with them when you think you got some mean dudes, on your side.
Little nasty in you, no question about it. Well, man, we got to everything but the special teams. We'll try to catch that in the next segment, and this has been fun. If you missed anything, please go back and check it out. It was the football meat sandwich with Clay Henry. Just going through the defensive side and the offensive side of the ball. It's been a pretty fun show today, and we're going to come back after this and wrap this thing up.
You trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
This is halftime.
Before you buy that next car or truck.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing.
What I want.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Woo! That's right, man. Made it through. What a fun show, Clay. The more I get, I really enjoy our interactions and in our chats and being able to talk. It's been pretty fun and
We
thank
go back
you.
a ways, don't we, man?
I was just gonna say it's 20-something years, man. It's 20. Time flies, and I know my folks always hold you in high regard and ask me how you're doing and stuff. I know you do the same with them, and I just want to tell you thanks for the last couple of days, and I've enjoyed it.
Well, it's the interaction that I've had with players through the year. And so, people say, "Well, would you enjoy going to the games?" I was like, man, the ability to sit down with a Quinn Grovey or a Matt Jones or a George Wilson or Tony Bua, I can just go on and have relationships and just like I can call George Wilson and it's just like we didn't miss a beat. We might not have been around each other 15 years, but we trust each other and know each other, and our stories they're still valid, I guess I would say.
Well, you talk about a football player. If you could have 11 George Wilsons out there, you'd be doing something.
Yeah, he was
great teammate,
a unique individual, unique person. I think he was like Mr. GQ, wasn't he?
Well, he was a special teams All-Pro in the NFL for Buffalo, number 37.
Well, he was Mr. Didn't he get the Walter Payton
He was
Award?
too pretty. Yeah, he was too pretty for me. We couldn't run in the same circles like that because he definitely run with a prettier
He
crowd.
wore a tie to maybe that was a fraternity. I think he told me that was a fraternity thing. But then once he started doing it, like as a pledge, you're supposed to wear a tie to class or something like that. And then once he started doing it and he saw the reaction and the respect that he got from, like the professors was like, hey, George.
Yep.
Yep. He said one of them called him Mr. Wilson because he was dressed like a grown man.
Well,
George was a dude.
He played football like a grown man. Absolutely. Christian, hey, I love you, buddy, man. This has been fun the last couple of days. We'll do it again tomorrow. Or, well, no, you won't be here, will you? We'll have Colton. We'll have 45 on the board. Okay.
I'll be at Hardee's.
That's just like Christian being there. He trained him.
Hey, go see Christian tomorrow at Hardee's and check out the Big Mouth Burger.
11 to 1.
11 to 1.
Salisal.
Salisal. He'll be in Salisal. Phil Elson will be back. Fisherman Clay Henry, thank you so much.
You got it, man. Enjoyed it.
Everybody out there, thank you for your participation and thank you for listening. Ruskin and Zach will get you next, and we'll see you around.
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama tires.